Good evening. Welcome to Soundtracks with Birdman. Tonight, a little lesser known John Williams score, at least to the normies. This is a pretty fond score of the hardcore John Williams fans. The Accidental Tourist from 1988, directed and co-written by Lawrence Kasdan. I'm sure everyone knows him from The Empire Strikes Back. And a little independent film called Raiders of the Lost Ark came out in 1981, starring Harrison Ford and Karen Allen. How are you tonight, H. Boomer?
Very well. This is actually my first exposure to this movie. I think I'd seen scenes from it in the past, like on TV, like they might play it on regular TV, but I'd never actually seen it before. And this is actually, I'll say this, it's a wonderful John Williams score. I get why the Williams fans love it. I was listening to the Suite earlier before the stream started, and it's very kind of Flight of Fancy. It's very hopeful sounding, I think, and it's a good piece. And I don't know. I know you've been to. I know you know a lot about it. Do a lot of people know about this score? Is it like
John Williams collectors too? Outside of that, no. It got a little bit of playtime in 88, 89 with the Boston Pops. It's never been on a compilation album, to my knowledge.
Yeah, no, it's nice though.
John Williams is fond of this. He will play it occasionally at the Pops, but again, it's never been on a compilation CD. I don't know if it's a rights issue or they just don't think to include it.
You know what? Probably say, what is this? This isn't Close Encounters or E.T.
Yeah.
This is
Can I get Ray's theme from the new Star Wars movie?
Please, let's not go there. I actually didn't hate Ray's theme.
I don't hate any of the new Star Wars music.
Yeah, I thought that Ray was going to be a bigger deal than she turned out to be. When I first saw that movie, I thought there was going to be this big mysterious thing about her. I thought she was going to be some sort of clone experiment. That's what I thought she was going to end up being. Which
I wasn't sure what she was going to be, but I was rewatching Rogue One this week.
Yeah.
And, I thought a missed opportunity would have been for Vader to have captured. This is like really dark here, y'all. But if Vader had captured Jyn Erso and made her his special friend, you see where I'm going? And she could have been Rey's mother.
Oh, yikes.
How would that have been for dark?
It would have been messed up, man.
It would have explained how Rey could do all this stuff very easily.
Yeah, it would have.
Although Disney would never have done that. It's probably too Game of Thrones-ish, but...
Probably.
And speaking of Rogue One, Mondo Records today released a 4 LP complete score for Rogue One.
Oh, really?
$75 for the box set.
Really? Okay.
I ordered it promptly at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. You have to do an unboxing of that on
live. I will. I'm like way excited. And we've got Zootopia in the chat. He's like, "What is this Raiders of the Lost Ark movie you speak of?" It was a little film from 1981. I don't think hardly anyone's seen it, but it's pretty good. You should look it up someday if you can find it. I don't know. Is it even available anymore? I'm not sure.
I'm waiting for the special edition
of
Raiders of the Lost Ark with new CG effects and like dancing snakes, a dancing snake number, and the like Disney will have to charm them. Like there'll be a lost scene where he meets a snake charmer, and then he has to charm the snake on under when he's in the temple, the underground temple, and it'd be like a whole dance number for its snakes.
So not charming.
They had a dance number at Temple of Doom. We can have one of Raiders. Make it happen.
Let's not make it happen. If anyone at Paramount's listening to Boomer, don't.
You know what? You can do a deep fake on Harrison Ford now, and you can just have him do like the snake charming thing, and it could be this whole number. I think that would be impressive. So, Accidental Tourist, had you ever seen this movie before, Daniel?
Yes, I saw it on, I guess, HBO back in the day.
Really?
I think so. I mean, after it came out in the theaters.
Okay. See, that's why I never saw it, because I was a Showtime kid.
You were a Showtime kid. You got the naughty channel. I had the HBO channel.
No, they both had their
I think Showtime showed more naughty movies than HBO.
Probably. I know we had Friday the 13th.
I don't
It's
think we
probably,
had that on HBO. No.
no, see, you missed
No.
out, man.
Yeah.
You gotta watch those
I don't know if
movies.
that's the word I would use, but
You gotta get to part 4 before it really gets good, though. You know.
okay. Well, back to the Accidental Tourist. I had the cassette tape. I bought it in the clearance bin, and I bought that. I think 10th grade. I bought it on cassette tape, and I love the score. And it's really more of an adult score for High School Birdman, because High School Birdman like action scores mostly.
Yeah.
And this one's really not an action score, but it does have a lot of forward momentum to it in parts. Maybe that's why I liked it. And then when I got older, like 20 years later, I wanted to get the CD, and it was out of print, and it was going for mucho bucks on eBay, like above $50. And this was back when the thought of spending $50 on a CD just gave me heart palpitations. And
money was worth more back then.
It was. And,
no, yeah.
And I eventually got it on CD. I think I paid $50-$60 for it. And then Film Score Monthly released it on CD. And I got that one. I think I paid $30 or $40 for that one. And I've got it on LP. It's like if it's a rainy morning and I'm just staying home, I tend to go to the Accidental Tourist on LP and put that on. So it's like my
Tourist on LP.
Yep, it's like my rainy morning stay-at-home LP.
It kind of is a rainy morning, a kind of a, you know what it is? You know what it reminds me of, like a kind of a rainy morning winter, maybe, you think? Like a rainy winter morning? Like,
yeah.
Like when it's miserable and raining out, I think. Or maybe not. I don't know. I have to think about this, because this is my first exposure to this score was this week. I mean, I'd seen bits from the movie. I remember the Thanksgiving scene growing up. I remember seeing that.
With the turkey. Like, spoilers.
We'll get there. We'll get there. The salmonella turkey. Anyway, I'm not sorry. I didn't say anything.
I would not have eaten that turkey. I'd be like, I'm a vegetarian. I just started becoming a vegetarian.
I'd become a vegetarian. I'm sure some vegetarians had a bad meat experience, and that's what made them become vegetarians. But anyway,
that's what turned me off to spaghetti and Mongolian beef. Yeah, they both made me sick once. Yeah, spaghetti. I was in elementary school, young elementary school, and I ate some spaghetti. Oh, I threw up big time. And then like Mongolian beef was 6th grade. I was in 6th grade. My sister's birthday. We went out to this Chinese restaurant, I guess, and I ordered Mongolian beef. And the next day at school, I threw up like Donkey Kong, and I'm like, done.
No more Mongolian beef. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Nope.
I'm trying.
Hello, Big Al. How's your mom doing? I've been thinking about her all day. I hope she's doing better. I don't know if you know Boomer, but Al's mom's not doing too well. So thoughts and prayers.
Oh no. Okay, yeah, definitely, Big Al. I'm sorry to hear that, but yeah, definitely we'll keep her in my prayers.
Yeah. So I'm hoping she pulls through and she's back.
Yeah.
She's back with you real soon.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, I'm
if you need something that I can do for you, shoot me a message on Messenger, Al. Whatever I can do, I'm happy to do it. You're a good friend. So I hope everything's good.
Yeah, you can set up a CD sound system for him. Actually, I don't know if he has one.
Yeah.
Oh.
This got Gina Davis won Academy Award Best Supporting Actress for this film.
Really?
She did.
Siskel and Ebert loved this movie. In fact, I'll say this. I've already spoiled my answer, but I was watching one of their old shows, and they reviewed Accidental Tourist was one of the movies, and so was Hellbound Hellraiser 2. And guess which one they gave thumbs up to, and guess which one they gave thumbs down to? They were not fans of Hellbound Hellraiser 2. Whatever. They're lying. I know they liked it.
It got Best Picture nomination, it got Best Adapted Screenplay, and it got Best Original Score for John Williams. And this was his only film score that year that came out.
Interesting.
And just barely, it was released December 23rd, 1988. So he almost had a year with no film scores come out. But in 89, he had Born on the 4th of July, Last Crusade, and Always. So,
Okay.
and no one remembers Always. So,
Have I seen Always?
it was directed by Steven Spielberg. It was a remake of Just a Guy Named Joe. Had Richard
No.
Dreyfuss, Holly Hunter, Brad
No.
Johnson, John Goodman.
I haven't seen Always.
Okay.
I haven't seen Tucker, A Man in His Dream either, but
What?
for some reason I associate those two with one another. I don't know why.
Why? Tucker is like maze balls.
I need to see it, I'm sure.
You like Francis Ford Coppola, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like the man's done very many movies. I mean, let's be honest here. So he has.
Hasn't done as many as I think. Actually, he directed a movie that I want to see actually now called The Conversation, which I think is a 70s noir thriller.
Yeah, I lost so much respect for you the other night when you said I didn't know about this movie. I was like, really?
Does it have a good score?
I don't know. I've never seen it, but I do know it's like Gene Hackman's like masterpiece.
No, I'm serious. I'm reading this review and I'm like, what is The Conversation? That's probably a movie I should know. I'd never heard of it before. It's on Paramount.
He played like a cop private detective that like bugs people, and so
I'm curious about it now. Yeah. So I may and guess what it's on? It's on Paramount Plus. So maybe finally something will come from my Paramount Plus subscription.
Yes.
Along with a Knuckles the Cheetah television series, which of course I've been clamoring for. I'm sorry, I'll be fine. We like Knuckles, and Idris Elba's doing his voice, so there you go. Okay. Anyways, when do you want to start the movie? You want to wait a couple more minutes?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and start. Big Al says he likes Always.
Yes.
Big Al, when things calm down, we'll have you on and we'll do Always. If that's good for you, that would be most good for me.
Sounds good. So we're going to hit play.
And well, let me put my earbuds in. Next week, Jeff Cummings will be on. We're doing Minority Report.
Oh, okay. He's coming on for that. Okay, because I was wondering when he was going to be on. Okay, but but Minority Report's a good movie.
And he still wants to do the Cowboys, but he's busy the following week. So do
you want to hold off on the Cowboys? We could do it another week.
Yeah, we can hold off.
You know what we got to do? We got to do, and I know it's just one movie we actually need to do at some point this year, and we can't put it off anymore. Is Dirty Harry, because I found out last week was the 50th anniversary of Dirty Harry. Okay,
well, let's do Dirty Harry after Minority Report.
Sure, and I can say a lot about that movie. And, the score you got me too, the wonderful score you got me. Thank you for that. And I had like a best of Dirty Harry thing, but there is something to be said for having the actual score and also listening to some of it has outtakes on there, like you can hear like the woman that goes, ah, and then like she's laughing because she like it was like a cut cue, and it's funny that they included that on the CD.
Yeah, all right. I forgot I ordered you Dirty Harry, and then like I had an Affirm thing that just got paid off and an eBay purchase. I'm like, what did I buy? And it's like, oh, I bought the Crystal Skull test pressing LP and your Dirty Harry CD on the same purchase, and I paid for it with Affirm for like 6 months. So that CD paid off now.
Oh my goodness, 6 months. What did that CD cost? I want to know.
The CD wasn't that much. I think I paid $250 for the test pressing of Crystal Skull.
I see.
That's the only way you get that on LP is you find a test pressing, and there might be like 10 of them out there. So yeah, I was fine with $250 for it. I'm sorry.
You got a collector's item there.
Yeah. There ain't many of those.
Gotcha. All right, so you want to do a 3, 2, 1?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, play. Warner Brothers. Yeah. There is still a Warner Brothers, right? Disney hasn't bought them yet, have they?
Warner Brothers is a mess right now. And I am not attacking every Warner Brothers movie that comes out. But a lot of their partners, see, the funny thing about Warner Brothers is they end up, I noticed this from what I've been reading. They're partnered with a lot of people. So like Legendary Pictures is a partner of theirs when they're making a movie. They don't always finance the whole movie on their own. And a lot of people were not happy about that Day and Date on HBO Max. They are I think the Matrix company is now trying to sue Warner Brothers. So it's not good. So, have you ever been an accidental tourist?
I don't
Birdman.
think so.
Never had to go someplace you didn't want to go. I guess that's the whole point
I
of
mean,
his
business trips.
little book. Yeah, business trips. And it's funny that Ed Begley Jr. is in this because I'm like, who's Ed Begley Jr. plays William Hurt's brother, and I'm like, of course he does, because
and
they're like the same kind of actor.
The guy from MASH, who played Major, what's his face, plays his brother.
Yeah, it's funny. It's just funny, the actors. They got a good cast in this, but they're not playing. These are not flattering roles. I actually feel, in some ways, the William Hurt character is the most relatable compared to the other members of his family. Right? If you look at him, he has the Accidental Tourist book. Are they writing another one? Is that what's happening? Oh, he did one for the Southeastern United States.
Yeah.
So
thank you for stopping by, Go Team Ghost Planet. The Bible stream is probably more enriching to your soul than what this is, and I fully understand. Mm-hmm. But thank you for stopping by. If it gets done sooner, come back. It's a 2-hour movie, but I'm not going to fault you for going to a Bible stream. Ever.
Have you?
God is more important than John Williams. So you can quote me on that.
Yes, but I would. You know, it's surprising that John Williams never. I guess maybe never had the opportunity. He never did like a religious picture, huh? Like a Bible epic. I guess that was after his time, right? Wasn't it, when they were doing those? That might have been interesting to see him score something like the Ten Commandments or.
But it's odd because like Eric Woods and I had our conversation Thursday about Goldsmith, and he composed like a religious piece of music.
Oh, okay.
With Anthony Hopkins doing narration on it.
Interesting. Okay.
But I don't know if you caught it, but he says in the narration, like, never carry something with you that you can't bear losing. And he shows a little picture of his son in that little silver flip picture frame.
Yeah.
Did you catch that?
But does he bring that with him?
He always has it with him.
Yeah.
And it's going to pop up at various points throughout the film.
Yeah. Have you ever been on a plane and had to have a conversation with someone you didn't want to have a conversation with?
Yes. What's worse is being on a plane next to someone who hasn't taken a bath in too many days.
I remember I was on a plane once, right? And there was this young woman next to me, and of course I was young at the time too, and she sort of reminded me of Farrah Fawcett, and which isn't a bad thing. But she was trying to strike a conversation with me, and then she's like, "Oh, don't mind me," and it's like, "Okay, let's talk." Like I was like, my inner voice says, "Don't be rude," okay? And she was talking about her and her fiance, and they were planning a honeymoon, and it was like she was showing me all the places in this book they were thinking about going to. I'm like, "Oh yeah," and it's like,
it's great, yeah, fun.
Yeah, that's kind of what.
Don't get eaten by a shark.
I mean, if you didn't have a fiance, we could have another conversation. But I mean, I don't know. She was. I hope. Whatever. I hope her life turned out well. But it's just weird how you have conversations with people on planes. Worse than planes, though. You know what's worse than a plane? Being stuck talking to someone on a train.
Oh,
because trains are longer, and for some reason they lend themselves more to people having conversations with you. So look at it this way: at least a flight doesn't last forever, right?
That's true.
Let's see. We have the dog. The dog is very important in this movie, isn't it?
He is, and I had forgotten this is kind of like a dog movie.
Because without the dog,
this movie doesn't happen.
Nope. Oh, look at this.
Much like without Christmas, Die Hard doesn't happen, right, Big Al?
Unless it's Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Yeah, that's the 4th of July movie.
Well, we'll have to save that for the summer anyway. Kathleen Turner. As soon as I saw Kathleen Turner was in it, I figured there's no way Gene Siskel would ever give this movie a bad review, right? Because Kathleen Turner's in it, and
she's not in it for much.
He had a huge crush on Kathleen Turner. Gene Siskel did. He thought she was the cat's pajamas at the back in the day. He really liked her.
I find her
Uh,
scary. She scares me.
really?
Yeah, like Glenn Close at the end of Fatal Attraction scares me. Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. It depends on what she's in too. I mean, she does have kind of this sultry voice. I mean, she kind of had a second career for herself when she got older too. But we'll talk about this some other time. But here we have William Hurt. In fact, we were seeing William Hurt a few weeks ago in Captain America: Civil War. Remember, he was General Thunderbolt Ross, right?
That's right.
Yeah, hard to imagine, but
Yeah.
yeah, he's still getting parts. Yeah, it's a younger version of him in this. And what's your read on this character here?
He's complicated.
Yes.
I can't imagine where I would be a year after losing my child because my child was murdered.
Yeah, that's actually rather nasty too. It's not even that he died; he was murdered. Yeah, it's
and I can see how that would destroy many marriages.
Yeah, they say that's a common thing because when when a child's lost, that can really do some hurt. That's why you want to go counseling. Probably, I would expect. I don't know. What do I know? But what do we?
But like the rest of his family is kind of odd, you know.
Yeah,
they live in the same house they grew up in, which is fine. I think that's fine. It's a nice house. I'd still live there too.
yes.
But the sister puts the cans in alphabetical order, which is kind of weird. The sister takes care of her two older brothers. Macon's a very sort of closed off individual.
I would say emotionally closed off.
Yeah.
In many respects. Now, I will say we do see the scene a little bit when he does actually see his deceased son, and you think he's bearing his emotions, but then they do come out. The pain does come out of him when he sees it. So we do see it briefly there. So it's not that he can't feel things, but I think he does kind of suppress things. I mean, look at him here. Everything's so clinical, I'm holding steady. I don't know.
There's not a lot of music in this film because I feel like right here there should be music. There's a lot of parts in this film I'm like, why isn't there music here?
I'll say this though, the only thing worse though than not having music was music being used that's used badly. I mean,
but this is John Williams doing the film score.
Yeah, that's true. So he would probably cater it to this. I do like Dario Argento movies, but sometimes he places certain pieces written for his movie in the wrong spot.
see, now we're starting some music towards the end of the conversation.
Yeah, there you go. She does look nice here, though. I do.
She does. Yeah. I just find her frightening.
Well, okay, that's fine. I'm just saying.
No offense. If you're watching this show, Kathleen Turner, no offense to you. You're a very lovely lady. And I'd love to have you on the show for a rewatch of any film of your choice.
You may not want to put up Al's latest comment.
I saw it. I'm just ignoring it. I have always loved the piano in this score. Even first time I heard it, I was just like, I really like that piano.
So, Macon, though, is that a dumbwaiter? Is that what that is? What is that?
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Chute? I don't know. I have to say, my initial reaction to this movie is that this felt like watching a foreign movie, which is odd because it's about Americans, right? Mm-hmm. So it shouldn't be foreign to me. But I'll say this. My parents were not baby boomers. Okay, they were silent generation. So this does, and I'm Gen X, even though despite my name on screen here. So it is odd. I keep wondering, is like, are some of these weird mannerisms or weirdness? Is this just typical of baby boomers of this time in the 80s? What do you think? Any idea?
I was in 7th grade when this film came out. So
Okay. Well, how old were you when you saw this? I'm kind of
no, I
curious.
was in 8th grade. I was
Okay.
probably in 9th grade when I saw it.
Did this seem like accurate to the older people in this age group that you saw when you were a kid? That's what I'm curious about.
The only adults I really knew were my grandparents, my mother.
Okay. So like cousins or anything that reminded you of
Not.
Macon?
I mean, I see them at Christmas time, 4th of July.
Yeah. Because I don't know. So I do feel bad for him though. He did lose his son. Oh, here we go. This is the heart ripper. He sent in there look at the son too. I guess that's for the best, but still, you don't wish this on either parent, really. This is awful. Probably good they didn't show his kid being killed in the movie.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino had directed this. I mean,
yeah, or I'm even thinking some of these Italian movies I watched probably would have shown the kid getting killed, and that would have been. And then the guy would be going off on a thing of revenge of finding the person that did it, and then it would have been a much different movie, wouldn't it have? I'm assuming the police caught the guy that did it.
Right? They don't ever say.
No, they must have. They must have. Because it would have come up otherwise if they hadn't. I think that's what it is. Because I think if the police hadn't called the guy, the wife or someone would have brought it up that the guy is still out there. Probably, I think. I don't know. Unless they don't know who it was. I don't know if they had security footage back then. All right. Was that flashback hard for you to watch?
It's disturbing. I mean, I would hate to.
I mean, they don't show the kid. They show him looking down, and you're assuming that's the body, but they don't show it at least. What's he eating there? Ice cream?
I think so.
I bet you it's vanilla. I'm being mean to make
probably.
It sorry.
Probably so.
Meow bow. I wonder, the dog bit somebody, right? That's why he's not accepted at the other place. I think the dog is working through the loss of the son, don't you?
Yeah.
I think the dog is angry about it.
Because Sarah said he still looks for Ethan to come home.
Yeah. And he probably doesn't understand. And because of course, how are you going to explain that to a dog, right? But it's.
Yeah. I know some of my dogs wait for me to come home when I leave.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
And then the others are just like, oh, let's just go to sleep.
No.
Yeah, I mean, they're not all as bonded to me as some of them. That's just part of it.
Gotcha. You're not married. They don't allow pets. Okay.
She's very odd in this film.
You think?
And she did get the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress. I'll just say that again.
And I'm not saying there aren't women out there with this kind of personality. It's just that she's tall. How tall is Gina Davis? She has to be tall. I think
she's 6 foot.
Yeah. I know she was dating Jeff Goldblum at one point. They were a serious thing. They should have been I feel kind of bad they didn't work out as a couple in the end. They would have been interesting. I think that was they were an interesting.
Yeah, like weird and weird. I mean,
well, no, but here's the thing: they're weird. They're weird and they're not weird. You understand? Like Gina Davis, attractive woman, Jeff Goldblum, attractive man, but they also have that kind of weird nerdy side that they can also pull out of themselves too. So it's. I mean, I'll say this one movie with Jeff Goldblum that I really liked was Into the Night, where they kind of pair him up with Michelle Pfeiffer in that, a young Michelle Pfeiffer, and it's interesting because it's neat seeing
him with Michelle Pfeiffer.
What?
You can pair me up with Michelle Pfeiffer.
You'll like her in that movie. She's like at her. It's one of her more interesting parts. It's like when she was first starting out. This is interesting. He's in London, and basically, he's writing a book.
Hmm?
And on some level, I find this book he's writing disturbing. It actually bothers me. He is saying, "You're an American stuck in London. Where do I go?
Hmm.
How
Yeah,
do I go to feel at home and not feel like I'm in a foreign place?" And look,
that's
American
the whole deal of
steakhouses.
his book is they're travel logs for people who hate traveling.
It bothers me though. It kind of bothers me. It's like, oh, you want an American breakfast? You want an American steak? You want to have an American hot dog? Just
Okay,
like a
have
Yankee
you ever
Stadium?
been to Great Britain, Boomer?
No, my parents were. They told me about
Oh,
it.
okay. Well,
I
when
I
I was
don't.
in Scotland and I was in Ireland, I was starving for American food.
I'm just gonna say that my father was very happy when they saw a TGI Fridays in London, and they
Yeah,
went to the
I was
TGI.
I was so thrilled in Edinburgh when I found a Pizza Hut. I'm like, thank you, Lord.
But no, I
Yes,
can't help but think you're
yes.
in another country when in
No,
Rome.
no,
Take in the
no,
local calor, the
no. You,
local
you don't eat cold
flavors.
beans for breakfast. Nobody does that. That's
Beans
just
on
gross.
toast. I didn't realize they
No,
were cold all this time.
it's just like, ugh. And
Look,
like, what, jelly? What the hell is that? I'm not a
okay,
Klingon. I'm a
you know,
person. I'm an
okay,
American.
I'm just saying that you're don't be the ugly American and say, why is everything a la carte? Why can't I just get my combination platter with my fries? No, you order the a la carte. The one thing I find weird about Europe, though, or at least I know in England, they don't tip people over there. Is that true? That's not a thing in
I
restaurants, tipping
did when
people?
I was there. Maybe I did something wrong.
No, no. Well, I think you should, and that's actually one thing which makes me feel weird about this. That's one thing that like I think like when people from other countries come here, they say that your customer service in the United States is kind of bar none because we tip waiters and other things. So we have a culture kind of built around
I'll say this: I paid for every
treating people
refill
well.
I got.
Where in England?
Yeah,
Yikes.
yeah.
That's when you order the unsweetened iced tea that'll last you longer. They don't have that over there, do they?
They don't.
I can give you a cup of tea and leave it out in the cold for an hour if you'd like some iced tea. And I'm like, oh man, it's like, pardon me for breathing. So she's like flirting with him, right? I think.
I think so. I think so. I mean, I'm not an expert on being flirted with, but I
I think men are obtuse to this sort of thing. It's like and I don't think he's kind of Mr. I'm just look, I just want to write my crappy book and eat my crappy American food in Great Britain. Just, and stare out the window. Okay. I don't know what I don't want to say
and
he's
this line coming up here is priceless. Like, just call, just call to talk. You ever get the urge just to talk? He's like, no, not really.
Look at his face.
We're doing the accidental tourist tonight, and we were talking about food in Great Britain, how it's not American food.
Hey, I didn't say anything bad. It's all come on, fish and chips. Come on. Good stuff over there. I'll say this: the chocolate's probably better over there. Actually, it depends on where you get chocolate. In
Oh,
the
the
United
crackberry
States.
stuff. Oh my God, yes. Huh.
Actually, if you're ever in St. Augustine, there's a very nice chocolate factory there. You can do a tour and you can buy chocolate after, and they give you free samples during the tour.
Ooh,
And
I'd be so fat.
you get to
So
find out
fat.
how chocolate's made. No, it's funny. The guy doing the tour, and he was a funny tour guy. He says, "You work here, but you're so thin." And he's like doctor's orders, so he doesn't eat a lot of the chocolate. Ton of the chocolate. He said it's good, but he can't eat a lot. He's an older gentleman. He was a good tour guide. He would pretend that he would point to one of them and says, "Oh, I see you're asking about this, sir." Like, and I'm like, nobody said anything. He's like pretending to take fake questions from the audience. It was funny. I found out that the difference between dark chocolate and milk chocolate is that there is a missing ingredient from dark chocolate, and that's the milk.
That would make sense.
Yes, and white chocolate is missing another ingredient that's usually found in chocolate. Oh no, this is the weird scene with the phone call from his kid.
Yeah.
7:20. You wonder if that's a okay, no. Okay.
That's sleeping late for me. I'm just saying.
It's not that's getting up early for me. Anyway. I don't know. I come from a family of night owls, which is odd since my ancestors were farmers, but so here he is getting up, living the life. You got your peanut butter, you got your
Got your dog?
CRT TV that's not huge. Because why buy yourself a large screen? How about instead be miserable and have a little screen? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just saying. It's just. I know TVs weren't great in the 80s, but they had bigger sets than that. Even I had a bigger set than that growing up. Come on.
Her nails are kind of frightening.
Everything about her is a little frightening. Everyone in this movie is a little frightening. Except for the way of her character that's just walking around in a daze, it seems, for a lot of this. Look at that dog. He ought to be trained. And I've come to this conclusion that these training sessions she's doing with him are really dates.
Yeah.
He's just too dumb to realize it, or too, not too dumb, too, I don't know.
Yeah, I think maybe she's just really lonely.
Perhaps.
Matthew Flynn, I was in Scotland and Ireland back in was it Easter 2000 or Easter 2001?
Oh, interesting.
I don't remember if it was 2000 or 2001. I flew into Glasgow. I went from Glasgow to Stirling to Edinburgh to Inverness to Belfast to Dublin back to Glasgow. And I was there like a week and a half or so.
Okay. You know, I went to an Irish pub once and I had what's called a Scotch egg. You know what That's
gross. I went one time, I had potato skins and they were tasty.
I had a Scotch egg. It is an egg, a hard-boiled egg that's covered in sausage meat and deep fried.
Yeah, that sounds
fine. Then you dip it in mustard. And it wasn't bad. I liked it.
I have very, very simple taste when it comes to food. Like, I think like if I died and went to hell, I would be made a food critic.
Do you know that one time I ate kangaroo?
Okay.
So that's not on your menu, I take it, huh? I think that's now illegal in some countries, but yeah, they had a restaurant in San Antonio. They had a plate, and the plate was shark, rabbit, and kangaroo. And I said, okay, I got to try me some of that. Oh, look at the dog. Bad dog. Bad dog. You broke his leg.
I think the fall broke his leg.
No, he's
barking. Hey, look, we got one of them little bot creatures.
Okay. Well, whatever works.
I think you just said like, ooh. There we go.
Look at that. I like Scotch eggs, says Matthew Flynn. It's some good stuff. Yeah, it gets a little mustard with that. It's good stuff. All right, here we go. No. 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 What they're doing to potatoes, I'm losing it. I mean, Richard Dreyfuss was doing something with potatoes and Lost Encounters of Their Kind, but that's because the aliens messed with his head. Okay. This is Ed Begley Jr. No, Ed Begley Jr. would be in this family. It just made perfect sense. Those peas and carrots look terrible. Those are those frozen peas and carrots that I can't stand. You got to be careful with the frozen vegetables, and I don't like the frozen peas. Okay, so here we go. I'm telling you, change the tone of this movie a bit. It could be a horror movie, right?
Yeah, very easily could.
Stuck at home with the broken leg, and
it's kind of like The Burbs almost.
Yeah, yeah, the Burbs. So Ed Begley Jr. Are they playing some stupid card game
I
too?
have no idea what card game they're playing. If anyone knows if this is a real card game or not, please let me know.
I bet there was something similar, or maybe it is Nurse. It's are they enjoying themselves? Maybe sort of. I don't know. And here we have Bill Pullman.
Hmm?
Bill
Future
Pullman, right?
president of the United States who defeats
That's
the space alien.
true. That's true. I forgot about that. He's in Independence Day. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the beginning of the Grudge movie too. He throws himself out of his apartment building onto the pavement.
Wow.
So maybe that's not a movie you want to watch.
He was in Spaceballs and
He
While You Were
was.
Sleeping with Sandra Bullock. Yep.
He was Lone Star, remember?
Mm-hmm. Lone Star. Yep.
Okay. So I take it Macon was living in his own house, but he had to move back home when he broke his leg, correct?
Yeah. And this is the house that their grandparents owned that they grew up in. So I don't know what happened to their parents. That's never really stated in the film. I wonder if it's stated in the book. And the book actually won the Pulitzer Prize.
They could have passed away. Maybe it is. Maybe it is in the book. I don't know.
And it said that John Williams had read the book when it first came out, and he told his agent to get him attached to the film.
Oh, good. Good. Well, he might have been thinking of music. I bet when he was reading the book, he was thinking of music for it.
Probably so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And originally, Bruce Broughton did the film score. And on the first day of the scoring sessions, Lawrence Kasdan wasn't happy, and they just couldn't come to an agreement. So Bruce Broughton left the project, and Lawrence Kasdan got John Williams to come on.
Hey, well, that happens sometimes with scores. It's.
I would like to see a remastered version of the score, and then on the second disc, if they could come up with Broughton's original work and put that on there, that would be interesting.
Yeah, they're not very good about that sort of thing right now. They it'd be interesting if they would allow like outtakes, like how movies have missing scenes. This be like missing score pieces, or I know they do that with the official score, but it'd be interesting if they would do that with alternative scores, like alternative cuts of the movies. But
sometimes you can find some things like Jermaine Rebel did Troy, and apparently it's like a balls to wall score, but the director didn't like it, so he got rid of him and brought in James Horner at like the last. I think James Horner had like a week to score Troy, and Matthew Flynn has a question: Is iced tea just cold tea? Boomer, do you care to handle this one, or should
I? Here's the deal. It depends on the part of the country you're in the United States. Regular unsweetened iced tea you can get in a restaurant is usually just that. You can actually buy it in bottles now. We have two brands that are popular: Pure Leaf, which is owned by Pepsi,
not the same.
and Gold Peak, which is owned by Coca-Cola. And what do you mean it's not the same? It's tea.
It's not the same.
It's not the same as getting it freshly brewed from a restaurant and getting your iced tea that way. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
It's like not that different. So anyway, Pure Leaf is better. I think Pure Leaf is better. I think Pepsi has one over on Coke because of that thing. But actually, I think you're right. It isn't the same. I think it's milder, which is why I like it out of the bottle better. When you're in the South, sweet tea is a big thing, and don't you dare try to buy sweet tea in a bottle, though. You'll get yelled at. Sweet tea is it's a Southern tradition, and it's made with sugar. It's like lots of sugar, which is odd. I like to do like the sugary sodas, but I'm not such a fan of the sweet tea. But it's a Southern thing, and there are all sorts of teas over here in In North America, you got your mango teas, your peach teas, your all sorts of things over here that you can get your hands on. And it's I don't know what they have in England if they're big iced tea drinkers over there. I noticed when I was in the Coca-Cola Museum in Atlanta, Georgia, you at the end of the tour, you go into this room, and the room is filled with Coca-Cola products from all around the world, and you can sample them as much as you want. And it's weird seeing what's popular in different countries. And for instance, in Asia, they're big on the teas, very sweet teas and stuff like that. In their own kind of teas, and in Africa, they're big on ginger ales, which I thought was interesting. So, like the ginger ale is more the bigger thing than like the cola or the root beer. So it just depends on where you're at, I guess. So did we need?
I have a sweet tea story for you, Matthew Flynn. One Sunday, I got some sweet tea at a restaurant just when it opened, and it tasted kind of funny. But I'm like, I'm thirsty. I don't care, and I drink the whole thing. But it tasted kind of off, like in a not good way. And came home, and like a few hours, I was like, I don't feel too good. I'm like, well, I got church at 5:30, so I got dressed and I sat on the couch. I'm like, I don't feel too good. And I went to church.
Oh no.
And I came home. I was like, I'm just not feeling good. So I fed everyone supper early and I went to bed. And I was just like lying there. I'm just like, I don't feel good, like at all. Like my appendix almost ruptured. I didn't feel that bad. And then it's just like, and turned out I got food poisoning from drinking old tea that had been left out too long. So from that day on, I have not drank iced tea. And I was like raised on iced tea, but I can't do it. This was like
no
14 years ago.
restaurant should be serving tea that was not brewed that day. It's tea. Don't serve that.
It had to have been leftover tea because they had just opened.
No, then you make a fresh pot and you make it cold, and you at least explain to the customer, no, you don't do that. Now, I was at a barbecue place we frequent, and my mom got some tea, and then was like, "Well, I'll bring out to go cup for you. You don't have to go in trouble. You know what? We're just gonna have to chuck it anyway because we make a fresh bunch every day." Yeah. So, and I appreciated that. Okay. You don't drink
I never, like, I'm serious. When my appendix was about to rupture, I didn't feel that bad. And I called 911. And first I said, don't come knocking on my door because you'll get my dogs riled up. And what did they do? Bang, 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 bang. Fire department. I'm like, God, I told you not to bang on the door.
Yep.
But yeah, nice. I haven't. And like, every morning I'll fix like a hot tea. But if it gets kind of cold, I can't reheat it. I have to pour it out and start all over if I want to. I can't.
You got a bad association now. I get it.
Yeah, it's the whole.
I think if there's anything that yes, there was. I'm not going to tell that story on air.
Okay.
It involves Chef Boyardee. Don't eat Chef
Lord.
Boyardee.
Okay.
Do not do it. And I'm not going to say what I
use my imagination.
It is one of the grossest stories I ever told. And maybe if I'm tipsy sometime, I'll tell it to you. Okay, so he got bit. He got a rather nasty bite. We kind of glossed over that. Yeah. And I think I have not been bit by a dog, at least extremely. I remember I was over a friend's house, and her dog was rather excitable and bit me through my jeans. And it left a bit of an impression. I didn't say anything to the owner because I figured the dog was just a little
being a dog
excited. Yeah. So, but it's not so much that she broke my skin, but like a little blood came to the surface because it was like imprinted in there. But she didn't break through the jeans. Do you understand? But she was a little excitable. But yeah, dogs can sink their teeth in you if given cause. They can.
I've been bit a time or two.
Yeah, I've been lucky that's probably the worst I've gotten from a dog. But yeah, you got to be careful sometimes. I mean, even that's a nice dog. What kind of dog is that? Is that a corgi?
It's a corgi.
Yeah. So she like the dog whisperer.
I'm not sure. She's just odd. She's kind of odd.
Yeah, she's odd. She's weird. Stop talking to me. That's what I would say. I would say, get out, get out, get out. We're gonna play Pit later, and it's only for 4 players. I don't know what Pit is. It was a game that the father on Freaks and Geeks wanted to play with the kids, and it sounded terrible. That's you know, it's she is tall though. I'll give her that. What do we got here? Travel guides.
John Williams, one time I watched an interview with him. He was talking about directors and like how much music they want. And he said, like Martin Ritt would only want like maybe 30 minutes of music. And then Steven Spielberg would want, like wall to wall score. And he said that the trick is to, one, please the director, but to make sure it's balanced. So director's pleased and the film actually has the music that it needs.
As opposed to, yeah.
And I like wall to wall music for the most part. And I would like more music in this film. But I'm sure it's got exactly what Lawrence Kasdan wanted.
You and I are a little bit different as far as scores go, because I don't mind if it's sparser as long as sound is being utilized in another way. Like I feel sound effects and other ambiance can add a lot to a movie as well. But maybe we'll get into that when we do Dirty Harry, because of course I don't think that's a huge long score. But
because this entire movie is really just carried with conversation. There's no action in this film, no car chases.
Yeah, it's a little bothersome. It needed to be a thriller, like, it turns out his son has been alive all this time and living inside the walls, and just
yeah.
I don't know.
Matthew Flynn's it's going cold. It can grow bacteria if it's left out overnight and not stored properly, and that's what happened to me.
You have to be careful with tea, and I'll be blunt. I said how I like Pure Leaf tea is more than Gold Peak. I've gotten some bottles of Gold Peak, and I could tell when it has that turned sour flavor to it that I don't like, and I just don't bother. It doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
Pure Leaf, oddly enough, isn't fairly consistent. If you're ever stuck having to get a bottle of unsweetened iced tea, I would go with Pure Leaf. But even that can turn. They do have expiration dates on those bottles. And with tea, you got to pay attention to that. Because they will expire.
And me dumping out my hot tea in the morning when it goes cold because I can't drink anymore, that's a mental thing. That's all me. There's nothing wrong with it, and I know that, but I just can't do it. Once I get sick on something, it's over. It's over. God forbid if I ever get sick on pizza or French fries, because I'll just like starve at that point.
I forgot. There was something I ate that turned me off from eating food again, eating that again. I don't know. Oh, I already said what it was. Never mind. Okay, we talked about this a minute ago. Bill Pullman's character's name is Julian Edge. Julian Edge, the I guess his editor or his publisher. Is that who that is?
Editor, publisher, maybe both.
Yeah. I want to explain Macon's job here and what I think it was at the time and what it means. I think you're thinking he's a writer, he must be rich. I don't think so. I think he's making a decent middle class salary, probably. Because back then there was something known as a middle class writer. They were people that could publish books that would sell well, do a profit, but they weren't like the Stephen King bestsellers. Yeah. You understand? I think
there's no shame in that. I mean,
no, I don't think there is any shame in that.
I do that. That's great.
I think the internet destroyed that career path. I really do. I think that it destroyed the middle class writer. I think that went the way of the dodo, because a lot of, let's be blunt, you can still buy travel books, and I'm sure they still sell them. I mean, obviously, I know they still do, but people get a lot of information like that online now, and internet is free. And yeah, you can do all the charging for ads stuff, which I've heard actually doesn't really have an impact on whether or not people buy things. The online advertising, it's been proven. I don't know why it's still a thing, but I'll say this though, he's in pain, I think, because of the death of his son, and now he just got separated from his wife, and I think that did upset him, though he's not going to show it because he's probably still dealing with the loss of his son as well, and it's I don't know. You like this neighborhood?
Yeah.
One of these dreary northern neighborhoods, right? This is where is this? Where does this movie take place? Is this
Baltimore?
northeast? Baltimore, Maryland. Okay, that makes sense. It kind of reminds me a bit of New Jersey, where I grew up, and that's sort of this. Baltimore is a similar type of place, I think. All right, here we have Bill Pullman showing up to the house because he has the hots for his sister.
Yeah. Mm.
I mean, it's just. I'll say this, on some level, she's more personable than the other brothers, right?
Oh yeah.
He's at least offering him coffee. There's Ed Begley. Oh, man. I work at a company that makes bottle caps. It's really not that interesting, and I like it that way. I'd ask him if he's seen Return of the Jedi, and he says, "No, I was watching a documentary on fungus the other night. It was very riveting." I mean, it's just, I don't. Oh, everybody in my apartment building eats out. That's the way to do it. You got to get yourself some Popeyes. Do you like Popeyes, Birdman?
Not really.
Okay, each their own.
Popeyes is spicy, right?
Well, you can get your chicken spicy or mild. The mild ain't bad.
Yeah, I think their regular
It's
mild is still spicy.
it's not health food, so I'm not even suggesting you eat it. I like their Cajun fries though; they're very good. Okay. You don't like the spicy food?
No.
I'll have to watch Blind Fury someday. That's where Rutger Hauer plays a blind martial artist, and who was also a Vietnam vet, and he walks into this restaurant, and he orders some tacos, and these evil gang members show up behind him, and he says, "Oh, could you pass the mild sauce?" And they pass him like the super hot sauce, and he eats it, and he says, "It's a little too mild for my taste." And of course, they're going to get beat up, even though he's a blind man, right? He's going to kick their butt, It's just. Rose, don't go talking to Julian. So are you rooting for Julian and hold on, what's her name?
Rose. I think Julian's a nice guy. I think Rose is odd. But I think she knows she's odd because she says later in the movie, "I'm not going to let you ruin my one chance to have a normal life."
Julian strikes me as what do you call it? Julian strikes me as the quintessential yuppie of the era, maybe. What do you think?
Yeah.
I make bottle caps. Bottle caps is that effect? Well, it's not half as exciting as it sounds, really. The funny thing is, I imagine that he makes money. He can have his own place or, whatever, but he still stays at home, right? That's what I'm imagining. But
How much do you think a book editor would make back in the late 80s?
I don't know. I would imagine it's a livable salary. I mean, publishing was bigger back then. People read more books back then. You didn't have the internet. It's funny. I remember Bret Easton Ellis was lamenting the fact that in the old days, people used to talk about novels they've read. I think then they went on to talk about movies. Now they're talking about television shows. Now TV shows are always the big talk, But of course, people obviously still read novels though, because bookstores are still a thing. It's interesting. Isaac Asimov's Foundation made it back on the bestsellers list because of that TV show. So.
Matthew Flynn, the only British food stories I have is when I was in Scotland and Ireland. I was hungry most of the entire time because
Oh.
I'm real
Matthew
picky
Flynn
about
could have
food.
told you about the good stuff. It's like if a Brit came over here and thought that pork rinds were a cuisine, right? Come on. Right? You know pork rinds? Um, can I answer this to Matthew Flynn?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys have any stores that specialize in British food? Not that I know of, like a pure British store. I'm sure there are in bigger cities. I know that my grocery store in Florida does have a little British section in it. And I think it's there for British tourists who tend to visit Florida. So if they want to grab one of the candy bars they get from back home, it's there. Like they have some Mars bars there, which I was a little disappointed when I tried it. I thought this was a glorified Milky Way. That's what I thought. But maybe there was no nougat in it. Maybe that was the difference, or whatever that stuff is in a Milky Way. What is a Milky Way but a Three Musketeers with caramel, right? Or am I wrong there? I don't know.
Probably a decent way to describe it.
I'm trying to see though, but no, if you like there are plenty of pubs in America though. You want to go to a pub, you get pub food. Look at the dog. Look at that corgi, huh? You know what we have at my the library work at sometimes there was a program called Read to the Dogs. And the
Really?
idea is that the dog's being trained to help disabled people.
Mhm.
They're brought in, and children get to go and read storybooks to the dogs, and the dogs sit there and listen. Hence, read to the dogs. And there's one of them was a corgi, and went and see the corgi, and he rolled over and wanted me to pet him on his stomach. You know? Here we have the turkey scene.
Yeah.
Look at that. I'm not eating that. That actually. I just wish the neighbors could see this. Oh, man. I was looking up degrees to cook a turkey at. You got to be in the 300s.
Yeah.
It's not 100 something. I'm not eating that.
I would just buy one that's pre-cooked and heat it up myself.
Yeah, no, they say that's the best way to go, especially if you're not used to cooking a turkey from the get-go. Get a pre-cooked turkey, reheat it. It was not. It's perfectly good. What side dishes? There's some carrots and what is that, beets? I don't have much of an appetite anyway.
Well, if you're at my house last Thanksgiving, I had like a dozen side dishes.
You did? Did you have green bean casserole?
I had green beans cooked in brown sugar.
Oh.
I had corn. I had sweet potato casserole. I had two kinds of baked apples. I had homemade macaroni and cheese with 5 or 6 different cheeses in it.
Wow, that's impressive.
I had lima beans. I had 2 kinds of baked chicken. I had beef tips with rice.
Beef tips?
Yeah. Beef tips with a red wine sauce and rice. I had
That sounds fancy.
I had like 5 or 6 different meats. What else? The chicken, the beef tips. Oh, I had bison with peas. Um, I had like 2 different fruit salads. I had a lot of food. I think I started cooking at 4 that morning. It was quite the spread.
Well, it sounds impressive. Who wants a baked potato? Do you have baked potatoes?
No, but I had mashed potatoes and I
Okay,
had
all right.
sweet potato casserole.
Uh,
Um,
Matthew Flynn, if you're ever in the United States, you want to try see if you can get your hands on a traditional Thanksgiving dinner with the stuffing and all that. Another thing that Cracker Barrel has around Christmas time is they have Southern fried turkey. That's an interesting American
mm,
delicacy. Have you ever had that before? Southern fried
yeah,
turkey, Daniel? You like it? No?
I did not care for it when I had it.
Okay. Some people don't like it. I liked it. I liked it. But whatever. Okay. It's off season right now anyway. Actually, soon we're getting into the fish season because all the places will have fish dishes because of Lent. But all right, so he says he ate the turkey and didn't get sick. I cry BS. I think he was puking his lungs out all night long. What do you think when she
Probably,
says
God, I hate throwing up. That's like I still hate throwing up.
I got hit with a stomach virus really bad, like right before COVID hit. Oh, sorry, said the bad word. But the pandemic hit, and it was not pleasant, and I was in the bathroom a lot doing various things. Anyway,
Yeah,
but love is not what it's all about. There are other kinds of other issues. Look at this.
and she's knitting him a sweater.
I know. He ate my turkey and didn't get sick. Two big helpings. I would not have eaten that turkey. I guess that was the right call, though, him eating the turkey, right?
Yeah,
And then you purge yourself and go to go to a Pizza Hut or something, or go to a Denny's or something, whatever's open on Thanksgiving. Look at that dog. That is the cutest dog, huh? Am I wrong? Are we wrong here, huh?
I don't know. It's the cutest dog.
I like him. He's just glum. That's the problem.
I would never trust any of my dogs to just sit there outside like that. Never, ever, ever, ever.
There should be like a drunken Santa Claus walking around and bothering the dog, right? That should be a thing. A scene maybe that was cut, right? To be fair, though, she is standing right next to him just in case he does go off. Isn't that what it
I don't
is?
care.
Yeah.
I would never let go of a leash in public.
Give him lots of praise. Did you like the whole clucking noise thing that she suggested that he do?
I mean, it's the same as using a clicker, only you're using your mouth, you know.
I have a question. Are you allowed to just take lipstick up and try it out in the store like that?
Well, I've never worn lipstick. I would feel
Really?
a little, yeah, I've never worn it.
You're not
Well,
like
I mean,
Buffalo
that
Bill
one
or
time I dressed up
anything?
as the Joker. Okay, that one time. But I'd be kind of nervous about doing that.
I just ate dinner. I'm not going to eat a second dinner. It's not going to happen. I could probably eat a second dinner. It's rare I get full. That's why I have to watch when I eat. If you've given any thought to coming to dinner, why do you keep bugging me about this stuff? If it's only for dinner.
So, what do you think about her son?
Well, I thought the way she was describing her son earlier, he sounded like a failed science experiment. Oh, it's like, oh, I got him out. They got him out of me, and he was really small, and he was like, At first, I thought she was telling him about a miscarriage, and that's not what happened. No, he was born. I was like, oh, he's still
I
with
mean,
her.
he
Oh,
doesn't look like Cher. You know, he looks normal.
looks normal enough. He says he's allergic to everything. This looks like a very cold movie, right?
Yeah.
All I'm seeing is snow everywhere. Dear Muriel.
Sometimes I wonder if the film score really fits the movie, and maybe it's the Close Encounter effect. I've told you I listened to Close Encounters for like years and years and years, and then I finally watched the movie, and I'm just like, I like the film score so much better.
Dude, don't
I,
test
I,
me
I
on
like
this.
what?
I love Close Encounters. It's one of my favorite Spielberg movies. Might be my
Okay,
favorite.
that's fine. That's fine. But hear me out.
Oh,
Hear me out. I
you
like the
built
movie.
you built a
I
movie
like.
up in your head. That's your problem.
Yeah,
How can you not get a tear to your eye in Close Encounters is beyond me. I
I
get a tear in
do.
my eye every time I see that movie.
Every time I listen to the film score.
Thought the idea is that we'd meet aliens for the first time when we're not shooting at each other. That brought a tear to my eye. That was nice. Unlike War of the Worlds, or Mars Attacks, right?
Gag, 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 gag.
Oh man, we'll have to do Mars Attacks at some point. That's going to happen.
Be a good Halloween movie, right?
I'm thinking maybe Alien Invasion. That might be a theme this Halloween. Yeah. We'll see when we get to it. Do that, War of the Worlds. I'll think of a couple others too, maybe.
Aliens.
Maybe we could do Aliens. Yeah, that's an idea. I'm trying to think. Invaders from Mars. I don't know how good the score that is, but that'd be an interesting one to do. You ever see Invaders from Mars from the 80s?
No, I watched the
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
What was the show? The Invaders. That was the show where the architect in California discovers space aliens are invading Earth.
No, I didn't know about that.
You never watched that?
You're talking about Invaders. The Invaders. No. I'll have to look for that. Okay. It's a similar thing, except in this point, the Martians weren't kind of taking over people, so they look like people, but they were acting funny, kind of like a Body Snatchers thing, and it's a pretty good lower budget science fiction movie from the 80s. But
and this is a heartbreaking scene right here, and we're talking about space aliens.
Okay, yes, I understand this. You know what? He was in a movie where a guy turned into a green monster. She was in a movie where a guy turned into a human fly. So it counts, okay? It's like...
But he says, he's like, my boy was murdered, and I can't.
Yeah,
I can't come to dinner and hang out with a little boy and see you.
I'll be blunt. He needed probably to see a therapist or something. He needed something, or see a pastor or something. I mean, he lost the kid. He'd go to a group thing, maybe other people, parents that have lost children. He needed to do something. Instead, he's just bottling it all in.
Even then, and I'm not a parent that's lost a child, but
right.
I mean, some things you never get over.
I'm sure.
I remember I lost my grandparents. First Christmas was bad. Second Christmas, 100 times worse, because you're not expecting it to be as bad as the first one. But it's so much worse because you're not expecting it. And eventually you just learn just to live with it.
Yeah, I think that was the line in the last Scream movie, like the newer final, the rest of the older final goes, does it get better? It says, no, but you look, well, does the pain get, I guess they say, no, you learn to live with it. That's what she said, I'm far from everyone. Okay.
And see, Gina Davis isn't even saying anything here. She's just holding him. She's got her eyes closed. And she's just letting him talk. And there's no music here. And like, that kind of bothers me, but at the same time, it works here. Now we have the piano come in, and she leads him to the bedroom.
Yep.
But we're not getting a Basic Instinct scene here, people.
If Sharon Stone was in this, we would be.
Yeah.
or Glenn Close, right? That'd be the
Yeah.
other one. And then he gets back with the old wife, and then she turns psychotic. Actually, no. If this was a thriller, Kathleen Turner would be the psychotic one, right? She would be the one that would be stalking the new relate. Like I said, I could see you could twist this movie around and make it into a thriller very easily.
You
Like
could.
he's trying to protect her son, who has all these allergies, and maybe Kathleen Turner bakes him a peanut butter cookie or something. Like I think it just, and it could just be a bad Hollywood thriller so easily. Like they're expecting the killer to show up, and he has the baseball bat, and then someone comes through the door, and it's Ed Begley Jr. and he hits him on the head or something, and then the killer shows up behind. Just come on, these movies write themselves, right? Am I wrong here? Huh?
Oh,
I will turn this into a thriller.
okay.
Let me tell you, if 50 Shades was basically a Twilight fanfic, I can make my fanfic of Accidental Tourist and make it a best-selling thriller. You watch me.
Yeah. My sister asked me today, she's like, "What movie are you doing tonight?" And I said, "Accidental Tourist." And she's like, "Oh, that's a comedy, right?" I'm like, No, it's definitely not a comedy.
Let's see though how you could reverse everything though. It'd be a mother mourning her daughter that died, and the husband getting estranged, and she meets a new man, and then he gets psychotic, or maybe he is. I'm just in her neurotic family, and I'm telling you.
And I would rank this in the top 10 John Williams film scores.
John Williams. He never scored a slasher movie though. Well, actually, no. I correct myself. Did score Jaws? Never mind. Which is basically a slasher.
And Jaws 2.
He did Jaws 2. How is Jaws 2?
The score?
No, the movie itself. I've never seen it.
It's okay. It's not great American cinema.
Because it's not. I think I just said Spielberg's not directing, so no, I'm not watching it. But maybe at that point Spielberg wasn't as established, and maybe they got another at least halfway decent director to do the sequel.
It's loads better than Jaws 3 and Jaws 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. So maybe the sequel, it's not a terrible film. It's not as good as the first one, but it's not bad on its own merits, maybe. So maybe I should check out Jaws 2 someday. I think when I was a kid, Jaws was one of these movies that I stayed away from because it looked scary. So I watched it when I got older, but so I wasn't even bothering with the sequels that were coming out. Of course, there's that wonderful scene in Back to the Future 2 when he's in the future, and it's Jaws in 3D, and the holographic shark comes out and bites him, and then he says, the shark still looks fake, remember? I think that was a subtle nod to Spielberg in that movie. All right, but look at him, he's got a pizza. Who doesn't love a good pizza, right? What do you like on your pizza?
Apparently Alexander's allergic to pizza. I'm like,
Allergic to tomatoes. Is that gluten-free at least? You can get gluten-free crust now in some pizzerias. Did you know that?
Really?
Yeah, I think Marco's has. I don't know if you have Marco's in your area. They have a gluten-free crust you can get. What movie are they watching? This strikes me as an almost, I don't want to say Indiana Jones movie they're watching, but this little score they're listening to, is that on the soundtrack? The movie,
no.
Okay, because it strikes me as something that John Williams wrote, and maybe it's a Raiders outtake or something he never used.
It sounds like a pirate movie.
Yeah, but it might. Yeah, it does sound, though the sounds sound like a pirate movie, and I'm wondering maybe he had different takes for Raiders that he just didn't decide. Oh, this isn't working. Maybe they just used that for what they're watching in the theater. I don't know. Okay. So here we go. Vacuum the floor.
She is so weird.
She is a little weird. She had like stuffed things lying around the house and stuff, like Care Bears and whatnot. I don't know. Just actually, no, I didn't see any Care Bears. I gotta tell you, Macon has a glum face for most of this movie until he smiles, and that's a genuine smile. And she is making him smile. She is making him feel something he hasn't felt before, which is happiness. I'm sorry. I'm just. This is, this is a scene where I actually really like Macon in this movie. He's showing the kid the ropes of how to take care of some plumbing issues. That's good. That's actually nice of him. And the mom saying, "I don't think he can." No, stop it. He can look. Let's see you do it. Me.
I think one of the greatest regrets of my life will be not having had children, or not having the chance to be around kids and influence them.
A lot of us are there, Daniel. I'm sorry. Same here. What can you do, though? We grew up
buy them on the black market, import them from Mexico.
Well, there's that. There's that. There's that.
You know, I had a client. He was in his 60s, and he and his wife had raised I don't know however many kids. And then one day at church, someone came talking about like all the orphans in China. And when they got home, his wife said, "We need to adopt a kid from China." And he was like, "No, I don't think so." And then like a couple days later, she's like, "I've been praying about this, and the Lord wants us to get a kid from China." And he's like, "Okay." They ended up with 3 kids from China. And they're in their 60s.
Okay, well, hey.
And surprisingly, it ain't cheap just to get a kid from China. It costs a lot of money.
Oh, but no, it is not cheap.
He said the church just took care of everything for him. And I'm like, wow, it's really something.
Well, I'm sure they were good parents to those kids that probably needed them. So
I really like that guy. He was a nice guy. And I lost the contract when the building that I had got merged into another building, and that was under someone else's contract, and I lost the contract on it. But he was a good guy.
Stuff happens. Yeah,
it does. I mean, that's how it is in the contracting world. Things happen.
Now this is weird. It's all snowing. It's not even Christmas yet. In New Jersey, it typically wouldn't snow until January. Once in a blue moon, you get snow around Christmas time, but usually it's January when the snow would hit. But here, I feel like a schoolboy around that woman.
Oh, yeah, there's a Christmas wreath right there. I never noticed that before.
Yeah. Is this a Christmas movie? No, it doesn't end at Christmas time, so no.
Let's not get Big Al a heart attack.
He'd probably argue it's a bigger Christmas movie than Die Hard is. He'd probably say that. I don't like that bow tie. I come on, what is that, huh? You like that bow tie he's got on?
Standard regimental bow tie. It's okay.
Regimental bow tie. Maybe it's the jacket. I don't know.
I like the jacket. I've got jackets.
He's too slick. He's too slick. I don't like it. Now, see, in my version of this movie, he would be a flim flammer.
A flim flammer? Oh, come on!
Trying to get the family fortune. He'd be another suspect in
getting dark in here tonight, man.
I'm just saying, you want to make money or you want to write Oscar bait. That's what I want to ask you. You want to win the Pulitzer, or do you want to be number one on New York Times bestseller? Think about what you want out of life.
Okay.
People want murder. They want stabbings. They want, they want to see people going through horrendous experience that's worse than what they're going through. That's what they pay money for. He would turn around. It would turn out that wasn't a mannequin, but the stalker, serial killer person after him. I mean, that's what you do. That's what you do. That's how.
We know what books you read before going to bed.
Okay, what is this? What is this whole thing? Who is this, and why is she bugging him?
That was a friend of his son.
Oh, that's horrible. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's gotta be rough. But he's helping out a a friend of a son of a friend.
And see, she said something. She felt stupid for saying it, but you really shouldn't.
No, and he takes it back and he says it's amazing, and it's he's no harm done. It's rough for everybody when this sort of thing happens. That's the sort of thing that should never happen, especially when it's something that really shouldn't have happened to begin with. I mean,
Oh yeah, and this conversation right here, I would have smacked this guy's face.
Think it's time we had a talk. This Muriel person.
Oh, that's not the worst of it, my friend.
I like his reaction though. He's not taking any shit. Basically, he's you're not yourself these days. Who is everybody anyway? I like the questions. We're just worried about who is they. But you're meaning you. That's who you're meaning. That's what you're saying when you say that. You haven't been over lately for the for the gutter cleaning, festival we have, at the house. I don't know what they do for fun. They don't have fun. This is a no fun family. I've noticed this.
Yeah. She's got that little boy that looks like he has hookworms. Wow.
He's not completely wrong. I'm sorry. He'll grow up to be a goth rock star. That'll be what the son turns into, right?
He grew up to be Marilyn Manson.
Yeah, he grew up to be Marilyn Manson. That's what we always say. Paul from the first Paul from the Wonder Years, and then this kid both grew up to be Marilyn Manson. Creep. Wait for me. There's the corgi. So those kids are not wanting him to hang out with them. It's like, you're a freak, go away.
Kids can be mean to each other.
Kids are the meanest because they can get away with it more than an adult can, I think, in some respects. Of course, I don't know. I run into rude people all the time these days.
I actually like Alexander. I think he seems like a sweet kid.
No, nothing wrong with the kid. He's fine. It's not his fault. He's got all these ailments. I part of me hopes he'll grow out of them too as he gets older. Teddy Roosevelt had all sorts of ailments.
He did. He had crap ton of health issues.
That's why he was really big on physical fitness, and I think it's he was because he was trying to overcome his ailments, which I thought I have to give him points for that.
He got shot on the way to give a speech, and he disarmed a guy. And then he went and gave a 90-minute speech bleeding from a gunshot.
Wow. Hey, impressive.
Yeah.
That's the best speech. if you're not bleeding
me, I don't think I'd be giving any speech except get me to the hospital.
Man. You know what? Trace Atkins once said he got his arm broken, was a horrible pain, still went up and performed his country concert, then went to the hospital. Good for you. Okay,
Arthur Fither got done conducting the Boston Pops one night at a Christmas show.
Yeah,
and went backstage and pretty much died.
Oh, that's awful. But you know what? That's dedication.
Yeah, Bernard Herrmann was doing the final scoring session for Taxi Driver. I think it was the day before Christmas Eve, and when he got done, I think he had a heart attack and died.
Wow.
He just finished it, the final scoring session.
Do you own that score, by the way? Taxi Driver?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have that as well. I am a big fan of that movie and that score. That might be a good summertime movie. That's a That's kind of a dark film. Have you ever seen it?
I've seen bits and pieces.
Okay, yeah. You'll see bits and pieces in the movie too if you in one scene. I'm sorry. There's some shooting at the end. I'm just gonna say that. Oh, Taxi Driver. But this we're not watching Taxi Driver here. And here we go. It's like he wants to, I just want to pay for his school so he can learn how to subtract. You sort
But
of see both sides.
I fully understand her point because like
Yeah.
says he's got 10 more years of school. Are you going to pay for 10 years of school if you're not around? And that's a
Yeah.
valid question to ask.
I actually see both their points. I'll say that in that conversation. I think she's probably more in the right. She has a good point there. But you're weird. Pretty though. I mean, she's pretty. She's just also weird. It's he doesn't know what he wants right now because he's still messed up from. Let's be blunt. He was probably messed up before the son, wasn't he? Before even the son died.
Probably so.
I think the
I
son
mean, you see
staved a
how
lot of it
brothers
off.
and sister is.
Yeah, they're weird. It's just. I wonder what happened to the Ed Begley Jr. brother. Did they? I wonder if that was explained in the book. Did he ever get his stuff together? Oh, yikes. Maybe he joined Greenpeace or something, right? I don't know. Just I'll say this though, we do get to see a lot of passage of time in this, don't we? Now we're in like the
We
spring,
do.
right?
Yeah.
So did this win Best Picture the year it came out?
It did not.
What did it lose to?
The film score lost to what was it? It's a weird. I've never heard of this movie. Did I not write it down? It was by Dave Gershwin, like the Bean War or something like that.
The Milrago Beanfield War, I think that's what it was
Yeah,
called.
yeah.
Oh, was that Robert Redford? Did he direct that, or was he in
I
it?
don't know. I've never even heard of this movie. And I'm just like, wow.
I'd heard of that movie. I remember when it came out, but yeah, that's interesting. That's a one. Okay, that would be the 1989 Academy Awards, right?
But in the '89 Academy Awards, yeah.
Okay, I'm kind of curious now. Let's see what was up. Academy Awards.
Because John Williams was up, Maurice Jarre was up for Gorillas in the Mist, then the Dave Gershwin score. And I forgot who the other two people up were.
Academy Awards 1989. 61st Awards.
Okay, now this piece of music right here, like the wedding music, this was the original opening cue, but they decided not to use it as the opening cue.
Oh, interesting. Do you think it fits this scene?
I think it fits this scene very well. And I'm fine with the opening piece that they used. So I wouldn't change it.
Right. Sometimes that happens, yeah. Rain Man won that year.
That's right. Rain Man did come out in '88. Yeah, Hans Zimmer is nominated for Rain Man.
Mm-hmm. Dustin Hoffman wins over Just kind of curious now. Give me a minute. What's best adapted screenplay? For the love of Mike.
And this film did 32.6 at the box office, which it sounds like nothing by today's standards, but that's not bad for 88.
No, not bad at all. Didn't win best adapted screenplay. Dangerous Liaisons got that. Huh.
That was the other best film score, was Dangerous Liaisons. That's right.
So it looks like he's written a lot of these, though. He wrote The Accidental Tourist Canada. Can you imagine going to Canada? An American lost in Canada? What would they do, right?
I actually like Canada.
I'm just saying, it's. Don't they put gravy on their fries up there? It's unseemly.
That's not horrible. That doesn't sound horrible.
Okay, I'm just.
What kind of gravy are we talking about?
Now, when you saw this part of the movie with Kathleen Turner coming back to the picture, were you starting to get a little uneasy? You said she scared you, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think the first thing I saw Kathleen Turner in was War of the Roses. And that's just, I'm like, damn. It's just like, damn. I mean, have you seen War of the Roses? It's like,
I need to see that. That's her and Michael Douglas, right?
Yes. And it's just like, I just got so visually turned off to her completely for everything since then.
That was their third pairing because they were in Romancing the Stone and Jewel of the Nile before that. So I was sort of curious about seeing that.
See, there's that picture again.
Yep, it's what's most precious to him, right?
Mm-hmm. And and I can totally understand her. She's like, well, the papers came through from the attorneys, and you start to have second thoughts because they were together 17, 18 years.
Yeah,
and it's
for a while.
It's a lot to unpack.
Oh yeah, definitely.
When I first saw this scene, I thought it was a flashback.
Yeah, it looks like a flashback, doesn't it? I thought the same thing. Yeah. Because it's talking about the rain. Well, you know what the problem is? I don't think we saw where he ended up in this place, right? It's just he's just kind of there, and I'm assuming he's. I guess we did see him unpacking the suitcase, right, with one of his books and whatnot, and I think we just didn't register that he had actually traveled to another country at that point or wherever he is right now, right? And he's talking about how the rain evaporates before it gets to the ground or something to that effect. Or
it doesn't sound very Canadian to me.
Who doesn't sound very Canadian to you?
Rain evaporating before it hits the ground. I think Canada just rains.
No, I think he's somewhere else. I think he brings one of his books with him on the trip so he can have a piece of his writing with him in case he's taking notes and wants to figure out how did I write this for this book. I think it's probably like a reference guide for his own style because maybe he's writing while he's on the trip. Do you understand? So he may want to keep one of his tomes with him just to look back on because he has that book he's reading too, the fiction book. Because I kept thinking at the beginning of the movie, he says, "Well, bring something to read, but don't bring more than one book." And I'm like, why is he bringing two of them? But then I realized, oh, that's more for his job. The other book, this is just to read to pass the time or whatnot. Plus, he ended up reading The Accidental Tourist, and the guy sitting on the plane next to him says, "I read those. Those are trash. I hate them." It's right. So he's thinking he's by the, and I'm thinking I was thinking, is he going to go in? And it doesn't happen.
Who would you pick? Would you pick Gina Davis or
Huh?
which one would you pick if you were him?
For him, Gina Davis, because she makes him smile. I mean, it's obvious that she's probably what he needs because she puts him in a better mood. But again, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the cure-all. We like to think it is by the end of the movie. Maybe it will be because he's finally found love, right? Even though he's probably never really had it before. I guess he didn't have it with Kathleen Turner, even though I'm sure it's in the book. I wonder how that relationship started out, and I'm sure the author went into a lot more details about that in the book. But yeah, I have to say you don't see too many movies like this these days, do you? These dramas. There's no explosions.
I don't see too many good movies, period, anymore that are new.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, what did I see? Old Henry. I recommend Old Henry to you. That's good. It's good Western. But yeah, it's like you're sort of struggling these days. The corgi seems.
Do you know what I got in the mail this week?
What?
I got the Green Knight soundtrack on LP.
Really? Interesting. That's an odd movie. I should listen to Big Al's review of that.
I saw the trailer, but I did not see.
It's an A24 movie, and I've noticed that studio has a certain style of movie. I'm not sure if I'm completely sold on it. You may like it though. I don't know. I'm curious to see what Big Al had to say of it.
I've listened to the score on YouTube, and I felt like I was in church most of the time I was listening to it.
It's one of the great medieval poems that was written back then, and it's very much of that time when England and other parts of Europe were very very Christian at that point. It was a different world back then. So she's back here. And he comes up with the solution, right? Tell her your office needs help, needs fixing, right? Sunset security by what? This isn't really her, right?
I think this is a flashback.
Okay, you're seeing this as a flashback. I'm seeing this as he thinks this is what she'd be saying to him if she was there. Like, I think this is guilt he's feeling or something, right? I think
it just occurred to me that's the sweater that she knitted.
Yep. Hey, eye for detail, right? I think Lawrence Kasdan was nominated for director for this, wasn't he? I believe when this came out.
I don't know. He's not director, but
let me take a
best
look.
picture because he was the producer, and screenplay because he was one of the writers.
Let me take a look.
I thought I deleted that comment.
Oh, I don't know what comment.
The bot comment.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know. Oh no, not for best director. What do we have for best director? We have Barry Levinson
for Rain Man,
Charles Crichton, Fish Called Wanda, Martin Scorsese for The Last Temptation of Christ, Alan
Fish
Parker.
Called Wanda got nominated for best director.
Yes.
Wow.
You don't like that movie? It was a comedy. No, this is going to be a funny thing for you to understand. Back then, the Academy would entertain the thought of nominating a comedy for Best Picture. It wasn't impossible. Mississippi Burning, Alan Parker. Working Girl, Mike Nichols. Okay.
I think I've seen like all those films. Wow.
Do you know, apparently Cisco and Everett were reviewing another movie the week they reviewed this movie, and it was about James Woods. It was almost like the anti-movie of this. James Woods and oh, what's her name? The one from Blade Runner. They were a couple, and he ends up getting addicted to cocaine, and their life goes downhill. And he's like, struck me as a very tense movie and a tense performance by him, and it's very different. This. I'm actually pretty resistant to pain myself. Okay.
Big Al's so sweet. He just sent me the thumbnail for Dirty Harry.
Oh, thank you, Big Al. You're. Let us know if you want to join us for that or not.
I wasn't even going to ask for a thumbnail of what was going on with his mother, but he just did it.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you, Big Al.
I have some exciting news. My roommate is leaving within 3 weeks.
Okay. All right.
I will get my library. So
you will get your library room. That's good. That's good to hear.
Yep.
You'll have to show it to us when it's all set up. Or not. You don't have to. I'm just saying,
I may just move the show and then there permanently. So.
Okay.
Because I float between the garage and the bedroom on occasion and my my work table.
Gotcha. You could have yourself one of those smoking jackets, even though you don't smoke, right?
I have a smoking jacket.
Oh, you do? Okay.
2 smoking jackets.
All right. I think I've seen them before. Maybe that's why I thought of it. So, I think he's thinking Kathleen Turner makes sense. This was the wife I was with.
Yeah.
And I was with her before. But I think something doesn't feel right, right? Is that what we're getting? Like, I don't think
they have like communication problems. I think they're just.
I think he doesn't realize right now that he's fallen in love with another woman. I think that's what's going on.
And that's not really the conversation you just want to bring up. That's just,
Yeah. Oh, it's only visible the bot. Oh, it's only visible when you show it on screen. The comment looks like. Who would you choose for him? Maybe you don't know.
It would be hard because I feel like I'm a bad person for saying this, but the fact that Gina Davis has a little boy is like that more than pushes me over the fence. That gets me way out in the pasture. The fact that she's got that little boy.
Right.
And maybe that's wrong of me to say that, but also Kathleen Turner asked for the divorce. She filed the papers. She moved out. He didn't want the divorce. He's like, this is just a thing. We lost our son. This is normal. We just got to work through it. She's like, no, I just wanted to. I'm like, then fuck you. If you go off and file, then forget you.
What movie is on screen there?
I didn't catch it.
Is that Dudley Moore? That's what I'm wondering.
It looked like a comedy.
It looked like Dudley Moore to me, but I couldn't quite make it out. It'll probably say in the end credits. That'll be next week's rewatch. I'm kidding. That's what we should do. Every time we see a movie shown in another movie, you have to do that movie next week. I'm kidding. That would drive me mad. And if they were following that rule, we'd have to be doing. We should have done Dumbo.
We can still do Dumbo.
Yeah, maybe. It's. I like Dumbo. We'd be talking about the songs that are sung in it, actually, and I do like.
I've
those
never
songs.
seen Dumbo. So
Maybe you've never seen Dumbo.
never seen Dumbo.
One of the greatest. You know how DVDs have audio commentary tracks. One of the best audio commentary tracks I've heard on a DVD is for Dumbo. It was for the original Disney release of it. They got rid of it on the subsequent release. They put a different audio commentary track on it. It was like they got some guy that did commentaries for the Criterion Collection to do a commentary for Dumbo, like this really stodgy film scholar review on Dumbo, and he's bringing up the scene with the clowns in Dumbo. He's bringing up like Pagliacci, this is a long history of evil clowns in Hollywood movies. Like he brings up Pagliacci, the murderous clown, and the man who laughs, that movie with the evil, he's bringing up all this stuff, and I'm thinking
That's
yikes.
a creepy movie.
I'm like, yikes! He's bringing up all these horrible clowns, and he's saying that the clowns in Dumbo are awful. They're not funny. They're there to torment him. He's very clever though how he talks about it. He really knew his stuff. But all right, so want to go for breakfast? I have to say, I have a limited amount of money on these trips, and it's not about me spending a lot of money because I'm supposed to put myself in the shoes of the accidental tourist that doesn't really want to be that doesn't want to really be in Paris. They just want to do their business trip and go home. And where can I get a Slurpee? Right?
They have Slurpees in Paris?
Probably not. And it's like, if you want a Slurpee, you are out of luck. I don't know. I mean, come on. It's not like Paris is known for its food, right? Honestly. There's a scene in a Burger King later. I almost want to slap him when he's eating at a Burger King in Paris. I feel the atrocities of the United States. One would be sending Burger King to other countries. I'm sorry, like that should be a war crime or something. It's just, remember King Ralph? He goes to a Burger King in that. You ever see King Ralph with John Goodman?
A long, long time ago.
Yeah, that was funny. I like that movie. Okay. And he's talking about the Revolutionary War. He says, "Yeah, we kicked your butt in that." And he says, "Yes, but you're now lying to the king now, so you can't say that sort of thing anymore since you're now English and you're going to be the king." And he says, "Okay, but I still say we kicked your butt." It's like, don't say that. You're English now. It's like, oh, what's he talking about? All those courses. What's he eating for breakfast? He's at a bistro. What's he doing to his feet? He's washing them before going to bed?
Probably soaking them because they're swell.
That's because men wore fancy dress shoes all the time back then. They would mess up their feet.
My fancy dress shoes never messed up my feet.
$90 is $15. I thought francs and dollars were the same, and he's saying no. You know what I want to say? She's saying, how often has she? She says she goes to Paris all the time, and I wonder about that. I wonder if that was a little white lie that she told, because
probably so.
Wouldn't she know how the currency worked if she'd been there all the time? Oh, here they are at Burger King. Careful, those aren't. You want to scrape off the extra pickle and onion. How do they do Whoppers in France now? Now I want to know. I bet there's no ketchup on them.
Ooh. Matthew, I guess it would go in the order of appearance, would be my guess. But since Boomer thought it up, he'd have to decide.
Yeah, order of appearance. She taking his extra onions.
Yeah.
This whole thing is
Are
bizarre.
you expecting thunderstorms tomorrow, Boomer? Or are you going to miss them?
Thunderstorms?
They're predicting bad weather across the southeast tomorrow.
Well, I hope not. I don't know. I'll have to look
They're
at
saying
weather.com now.
tornado possibilities.
Oh, that's always
So,
nice.
yeah.
Tomorrow, Thursday, sunny where I'm at. Yay. You like sunny weather?
It was nice today. It was about like mid 60s with a nice breeze.
That's not bad.
Tomorrow it's going to be like tornadoes. So
Batten down the hatches.
I guess Friday will be back to like 20 degrees. So
All right. Oh. So he did make a point about bedding in foreign hotels. He does not like them. Remember, it's always the worst abrasive fabric you can imagine.
yeah.
Is he smiling or crying there? What's going on there?
I think he's smiling.
Okay. What's he going to do? Call home? This is where he throws his back out, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that?
I got a sciatic nerve thing that gets pinched a lot. It's no
Okay.
fun.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever thrown my back out. I once fell on my tailbone when I was younger.
Yeah. I did that.
I
2
thought
summers
I was
ago.
I thought I was paralyzed. I could not literally not get up for like 15 minutes, and then finally.
I was like stunned, and I like crawled to the bathroom and thought I was gonna vomit from just the shock of it.
Yeah, I think I told my parents I'm staying home from school that day. This is not
Yeah.
happening. This is not happening.
Oh, it would hurt to sit down for like 2 or
Yeah.
3 months afterwards. Yeah.
Wow. All right. So hey, you got to go to the other cities in France to tell people how to have a not fun time, and
Yeah.
you know. Eating a Whopper and did you ever stop to think that maybe the French Whoppers are better than the American Whoppers?
No.
You ever stop to think that,
No.
Macon? I bet they put gobs of mayonnaise on everything, though. That's probably my suspicion. They do things out there. Now she's in like a business suit.
She's running the publishing company now.
That's funny. That's what she needed, a career. We finally figured it out.
She needed a job. Yeah.
I don't know what he's watching on TV, but that looks awful. You know, when I saw this, I thought this might have been like a fantasy and that she's not really there, but no, she is. Right?
She's really there. Yeah.
Look at this. She's drugging him up. Don't you find that a little disturbing?
Yeah, because she frightens me.
Have you ever seen the movie Misery?
I saw the trailer.
I think that might be your nightmare movie. I think James Caan's in that, right? And Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's that's
Kathy Bates won the Academy Award for Best Actress.
good for her. She did a great job in that movie. That was and that's a terrifying performance she gives in that movie.
You do realize I'm not really a Stephen King fan, right?
What?
I'm
What
not
do you
really a
mean you're
Stephen
not a
King.
Stephen King fan?
I don't care for horror. And,
What?
I
I
don't
don't
care.
care for
I don't
horror.
care
I
for
don't
horror.
care for horror. Well, we are going to do.
There's enough horror in the world. I just don't find it entertaining.
Oh well, we'll go into how I feel about it another time. But I'll say this though: we should at least catch the Dead Zone someday. It's not your typical Stephen King. It's
The TV show or the film?
movie with Christopher Walken in it.
Okay.
It's more like a thriller type movie. David Cronenberg directed it, though it's not his typical fare. A second honeymoon. What do you think, huh? How old was Kathleen Turner when this was made? I'm kind of curious now.
Late 30s.
Okay, well that makes sense. Forgetting people got married like right in their early 20s back then, or right out of high school.
I haven't tried campy B movie horror. No.
The fact that she had a child, is that what attracted you? This conversation is all getting in a weird area now. She keeps probing him, right? This is just. When you said we could have another baby? What's she giving him, a pear?
Thing. Some sort of food.
Is that like any kind of a biblical allusion? Like I don't know, is that an apple? I don't know. I'm probably reading too much into this scene. No, stop this. Get off. Okay. I never want to see you again.
So with that line, you could have taken steps for once. Is she putting blame on him for their son getting killed?
She is thinking he is passive and not assertive, and that's what that's all about. I don't think that has to necessarily do with the son. No, I think it's just her. She doesn't look. Let's be honest here. Does she really love him? That's what I'm wondering. I mean, I think maybe she's him in a way. She needs to go find somebody else too. This is not healthy. This relationship. He's not working for her. She's not working for him. It's. Look at that. She shuts the door as well. See. So this is interesting, though, that John Williams basically wanted to score this movie because he loved the book, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He does read a good deal. See, there's that picture again.
He left the sleeping pill. He didn't take the sleeping pill. He's still having trouble moving though, right?
Yeah. And this scene was kind of lost to me the first time I saw it back in 10th grade or whatever. But now having nerve pain, I'm like, dude, I totally understand.
Yep. Now he's gonna wake her up and tell her it's over, right?
Yeah.
What she said about taking steps, right?
Hmm.
Who you are when you're with them. So I think he's grown a bit as a character at this point, right?
Yeah. I would say most of the characters grow in this film. His sister grows.
Maybe even his wife.
Julian.
Maybe there's hope for his ex-wife too. You never know.
Yeah. I guess his brothers are still about the same at the end of the film. As they were at the start. I don't see them really changing much.
Yeah. Hmm. But I need her. Okay. And at first, I thought this ending was going to be ambiguous, that we weren't going to see what happens with him and the other woman, right? But Muriel. Do you think a modern audience would be able to sit through a movie like this?
Michael Bay audience couldn't. I don't know.
Well, part of the problem is
watching,
go ahead. Sorry.
I feel like the movies in the late '80s were better than a lot of what we get today.
Yeah. My traction for movies is 70s is still my favorite decade. 80s had a lot of good movies too in it though. 90s you had it's a mixed bag. Like I think the blockbusters got worse, but you still had halfway decent comedies, and you also had good independent movies too coming out in the 90s.
See, he's reaching and he's taking out the picture of his son, and he's leaving the suitcase behind.
Good.
It's almost like symbolically you're leaving your old life behind, but he's still carrying his son with him.
You gonna still write? I wonder if he's gonna still write the travel books.
But see, another thing, I don't know if you noticed, but he's got his wedding band on through this entire film.
Oh, interesting. I didn't notice that. But I'm thinking too, this is a, oh, here we go. This part throws me off.
The kid looks like his son.
The kid looks like his son. Is it spitting image or just very similar? That's what's freaking me out here, because I'm like, is he, because he's sort of seeing this as a sign, I think, right?
Yeah.
Kid heads off in the opposite direction, right?
Yeah, but the cap turns around to
That's
go back.
right. He doesn't like the turning. See that? He's not liking that at all. Or maybe that's the pain of remembering his son. I don't know. Could be
And it's
either.
just kind of like the musical high point of the film with
Oh,
the
yeah.
strings,
Oh, yeah.
and the piano's going to kick in.
So we'll see him saying goodbye to his son, and maybe a new life is waiting for him. Let's see. I like the fact that they're smiling, right?
Yeah.
They're both smiling. They both know, yes, it's good. And that's probably the happiest I've seen him in the whole movie, right?
Yeah.
At the very end.
Now the end credit suites is called Second Chances, and on the original LP on the tape, it ends side A and it ends side B, and then on the CD it's like in the middle and then at the end of the CD.
What?
Yeah, because the CD they don't rearrange the track order. It's the same as the tape and the LP.
I used to get annoyed when they would mess up track order on tapes back and tape on all sorts of things back then. Don't do
And this
that.
is actually like the concert suite you would hear if they ever play it in a concert hall.
Yeah, it kind of bugs me when I get my James Bond soundtracks. They always have the song first, even though the song is not the first music track in the movie. It
It's
usually
like
follows the first moves. It's usually the
Yeah.
second, yeah. And Diamonds Are Forever, the soundtrack's all mixed up on that CD because you had the Diamonds Are Forever song. You don't get the gun barrel theme until like the 12th track or something. So I don't know why they arranged it that way, but
And
they did.
Herb Spencer was the orchestrator on this score, and Ken Wannenberg was the music editor, which both longtime collaborators with John Williams.
Yeah, yeah.
And whoever played this piano, I can't find the credit for this piano on the internet.
Really? Interesting.
I had thought for the longest time this was John Williams playing the piano, but I can't confirm that using the internet.
It could be someone uncredited. Maybe it was him. I don't know. Special visual effects, industrial light, and magic. You're probably asking yourself, there were no special effects. Yes, there was.
That airplane at the very start of the
airplane.
movie.
That very cool shot of the airplane, which I don't know needed to be in this, but it's like, hey, come on. Let me put one ILM
It was
effect.
a fine looking airplane.
It was a nice little model effects scene, but I don't know that the movie needed it. In fact, in some ways, I wonder if maybe it didn't need to be there. I'm thinking, you. It was a contract or something, right? They had to ILM has to do a certain amount of movies every year to get a tax credit or something. I don't know. It's like, But I'm gonna lasso Santa Claus. So that was she was
I don't
singing that song. Yeah.
I don't remember if I mentioned this, but this was one of the first John Williams scores to come out on CD and one of the last ones to come out on LP.
That would make sense to me. You know why? Because as soon as CD starts getting popular, it's let's get
LPs
rid of
dropped
the
off.
let's throw the LPs out. No more
I remember
vinyl. Vinyl's dead.
Born on the 4th of July came out on LP. Last Crusade came out on LP. I think Always came out on LP.
Mm-hmm.
But after that, like
Yep.
JFK got an LP pressing, but it was overseas. Hook got an LP pressing, but that was overseas. Which is why they cost so much money now. It's just like, do I want to pay 3 figures for a 20-year-old LP that may have issues with it? It's like, I will. I mean, but I just cross my fingers and hope for the best.
Yeah, definitely. Matthew Flynn says your next rewatch is Minority Report. He's asking. Yes, it is.
Yes. And Jeff Cummings from The Baton, a John Williams musical journey, will be on that show.
Excellent. No, that's a big deal. You're getting some cool guests
Yeah,
on lately.
that's a huge ass deal for me. It's like,
I
wow.
know. No. No. Cool.
Yeah, like anytime I get Eric Woods on the show, I'm just like, I don't know what I did to deserve this, but
yeah, definitely. It's interesting here. We have introduction. The DVD has an introduction by Lawrence Kasdan, and then there's a commentary track by Gina Davis.
Really?
For the movie, yes. So
you checked it out from the library?
I did.
Okay.
So maybe I'll look at that while I still have it checked out. We'll see. But yeah. So that is The Accidental Tourists. Yeah, I have to say too, these days you don't see that many romance movies, do you? In theaters.
I don't really know what kind of movies we have anymore, to be honest.
We did have Crazy Rich Asians. That was a romance movie. Maybe a romantic comedy, maybe, but it was a romance movie. So that was the last big one I heard of. And it did well at the box office too, but I don't know of any other recently I've seen. It's like Hollywood seems to be down on romance. I don't know. They're just not. I don't know. They have to get their act together at some point, right? Hopefully. I'll say this: they're better nominees this year for the Academy Awards than last year. Last year was awful for Best Picture noms.
I used to enjoy the movie so much, but lately, and even before Chinese Death Flu, like I think I saw 2 movies or 1 movie in 2019 at the theater.
I had seen in the early 2020. I had seen 1917. That was the last movie I had seen. That was a good movie to see in the theater. And in 2019, I had seen Ford versus Ferrari, which I loved. That was a big one for me. And Rise of Skywalker, because I was dragged to it. But anyway,
yeah, I just totally checked out after last.
No, you people who haven't seen Rise of Skywalker don't realize that in some respects it's a worse movie than Last Jedi. And I know people will say, well, it wouldn't have even been as bad enough for yeah, but you know what? It was still pretty awful. It's just let's not be mean though. It had a great score, right? And that's
I enjoy
at least
the
John
music.
Williams can still write a great score. And okay, but next week will be Minority Report, right? Do you like the score to Minority Report?
That time period for John Williams.
It's an odd one, isn't it? Yeah.
It's different. It's not the 80s and it's not the 90s. It's
I picked that one because I don't want to necessarily I don't want us to do all of his hits all at once because we'll eventually run out. But I figure let's do one of his lesser appreciated ones. That's why when he asked me to pick one, I picked Minority Report. Plus, it'd be interesting to do another Philip K. Dick movie because we did Total Recall. Now we're going to do this one. So,
That's true. It is a Philip K. Dick story, isn't it?
It's another one of these Philip K. Dick weird dystopian futures where oh, everything's so advanced. Well, not really. It's
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not the biggest Tom Cruise fan. The score is interesting.
Really?
Yeah, the score is interesting. I don't know. I'm gonna have to ponder it some between now and next week.
Fine. Well, you're gonna have a great guest on next week. I'll be on with you too, obviously. But
yeah, you better do your homework for next week.
I got to do homework.
Well,
It's my pick, so I got to do homework. Is that
yeah.
Just try to read the book at some point. I've read other Philip K. Dick books. I haven't read that one though. So
I tried reading The Android Stream of Electric Sheep. I didn't get very far into it.
That's a tough one. That's a weird one. It's nothing like Blade Runner. It's some things are similar, but I did read Scanner Darkly. That's a wonderful, wonderful Philip K. Dick book. And oddly enough, the movie's fairly accurate to the book. I mean, they had to cut some things out because obviously movie length, but it's pretty good. You ever seen Scanner Darkly?
Mm-mm.
Keanu Reeves, Robert Downey Jr., Winona Ryder, and it's done by Richard Linklater, and it's rotoscoped animation for the whole movie.
Wow!
So it's the actors, but they're rotoscoped anime. So they shot them, but then they were painted over with computer. I don't know why that stopped. Richard Linklater figured out how to make great looking rotoscoped animated movies that were really cheap to make, and he only did 2 of them. So I don't know why that was dropped, but he did Minority Report as one, and he did Waking Life as another, and they're both really neat to look at. But I don't know. Maybe we'll do one of those someday. All right, cool. And then so next week is Minority Report,
and then Dirty Harry.
Dirty Harry, I have a lot to say about Dirty Harry. Don't you worry about that. I do love me some Clint Eastwood, so that's yeah. He might be my favorite actor. I'm not sure. He's up there, definitely. Okay.
Well, everyone, thank you for coming by tonight. I hope you enjoyed the Accidental Tourist. It truly is one of the lesser known. I've not watched any of the Wallace and Gromit movies. I probably need to.
Yeah. The animated features, they're pretty neat. Yeah. But
definitely one of the lesser known Williams scores, except amongst Williams fans, it's one of the more cherished ones. One of my top 10 John Williams film scores, definitely. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching. Adopt, don't shop. Keep listening to great film music. Stay safe, everyone. Keep Big Al's family in your prayers. His mom's not doing well.
Definitely.
And Al's mom has been having some issues too.
It's rough. I'm sorry to hear.
Always appreciate everyone who comes by. Thank y'all so much, and we'll see you next week.